Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I will be your host this afternoon, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, my brother in trouble, my brother Alex. Alex, how you doing?
I'm better now.
You were stressing there for a minute.
Yeah, for a little bit. You know, when you get a phone call, from your parents, and usually it's mom that calls you,
Right.
and I answer, and it's not mom, it's dad.
That's right. It's funny, like, my kids, right, I have two of them that are grown and gone, and they say the same thing. Like, they have a different expectation when they answer the phone and it's me or my wife, right? And for me, like, I saw your reaction because you put them on speaker, and I have the same reaction. It's the house phone, right?
Right.
So it says mom and dad.
Yeah.
And it's 95% of the time it's mom.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then that 5% of the time it's dad, it's like, oh shit.
What did I do? I'm freaking 40 years old. Like, what the hell did I do wrong?
Yeah, I don't, yeah. Well, no, I don't think like that necessarily. I just, like, I wonder if something happened to mom.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because for mom to not call just seems kind of weird. And then B, I do assume that something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I assume either something's broken at the house or some shit, right? And so I immediately start worrying.
Yeah, nah, I don't.
Not worried.
I
Worry's
don't.
not the right word.
Because I think you can tell in the tone of voice. As soon as you hear their tone, mom or dad, I can tell.
Mom, yes. Dad, no. Because it doesn't matter what it is. When dad calls, he's going to say hi. He's going to ask you how the family's doing. And then he's going to get down to business.
He's going to drop the bomb on you.
Right. Mom, you can tell right away because mom will sometimes not even say hi.
Right.
Like, she'll just go right into what her problem is.
Yeah.
And her tone of voice is different, right?
Well, I got to call back once I get out of here.
Oh yeah, because I blamed you for everything.
I'm just gonna defer everything to you.
Yeah, it was funny when you answered and it was dad. I was like, I was gonna jump into the conversation and stuff. When I heard it was dad, I was like,
That was a wise choice.
I went radio silent. There's probably other people that wish some people would go radio silent. Me. I wish that baseball people would stick to baseball and go radio silent and stop bad-mouthing people on Twitter and stop booing fans and all this other bullshit that seems to be going on with the Mets, only with the Mets.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mets are gonna Met. Look, man, the booing, I'm sorry, but the booing doesn't bother me. Like, the fans booing the players, it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm sorry, this is not Kansas City, this is not Milwaukee, this is not Colorado, this is not Arizona, Boston, Philly, New York, LA maybe. I don't know. LA's more worried about fighting and stuff among each other and with other fans. They've taken over the worst fan base, by the way. But that's a different story. But I mean, Philly, Boston, New York, like, it is what it is, man. You're going to get booed. If you don't perform and you don't hustle out the box in baseball and you play lazy baseball, you're going to get booed. Plain and simple. And the Mets fans, I don't think they're booing. Look, Lindor has a really big target on his back because he makes a whole lot of freaking money.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Mets fans in general, I know I'm one of them, are just tired and frustrated of the lack of offense. There's no offense. So we're not going to boo the guy that makes $1 million and comes off the bench. We're going to pay the guy. We're going to boo the guy who coincidentally has not had a great season. Kind of started to come around a little bit, but he hasn't played up to what the expectations were, Lindor.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get booed, plain and simple. I mean, I feel like Mets fans have gone soft a little bit.
Here's my thing. Like, no one comes to my job and looks at a spreadsheet that I did wrong and starts booing me, right? No one comes to your job when you screw up and boos you. So, for me personally, I'm not a booer. That's just me. But I also don't have a problem with people booing, right? I don't have a problem with Chuck in section 216 booing his head off when Baez goes 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts, right? Hey, I don't do it. It's not my thing, but that's Chuck's thing, Bob's thing, Phil's thing, whatever, right? Knock yourselves out. But I have my bigger problem is with these athletes that they have to kind of quote unquote retaliate, right? Because that's what they're doing. They're turning around and booing the fans when they do well. Well, first of all, Chuck up in section 216 probably didn't even notice the little thumbs down thing, right? Like, he's too fucking far away. Not to mention, it was like in the 7th inning, he's three beers deep. He does not know, right? He's looking to punch a Nationals fan in the face more than he's looking at your little thumbs down thing. It's dumb. And it really strikes me from Baez. Bro, you have played 17 games in New York. You have been here for 1 month.
Batting .210, by the way.
Who cares? Batting .010. You've been here for a month. Shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, you're a grown-ass man. You mean to tell me that people booing has got your feathers ruffled so bad that you gotta boo back? Like, grow up. People need to just shut up and do the best they can and just stop with the...
And here's the thing.
With the stupid stuff. Like, it's dumb. You're a highly paid professional baseball player, and you're worried about Bob in section 455? What? Are you kidding?
It's not just Bob. It's pretty much all the fans are booing him. But rightfully so.
You're worried about Alex in bleacher section 315?
Fans in Chicago love the guy. They fucking love him. I don't know if it's because
it's a different culture in Chicago.
It could be because of a World Series, right?
Yeah,
it could be because of that.
And it is a completely different culture in Chicago, right? They're the lovable Cubbies.
Right.
They've been losers forever, and that place still loves their Cubbies, and that's fine. Just like it's fine for Mets fans to boo when your team has won 9 out of 32 games.
Here's the thing. They started doing that thumbs down thing in the Philly series. That's when things kind of start. That's when Philly took over first place, right? Or somewhere around there, or the series after. I don't know. But so they've been doing it for 3 weeks.
Has it been that long? I thought it was like a week.
No, 3 weeks. They've been doing it for 3 weeks. And within those 3 weeks, they've been playing like shit. Now all of a sudden they score 9 runs. Watch out now. The fucking offense is about to explode.
Yeah, so...
And you take 2 out of 3 from the Nationals, who are in 4th place in the division.
And traded away half their team.
Right. And you want to do the thumbs down thing, and you want to come out and explain what it means, and what... Like, really? That's...
It's childish.
It's childish, but I hope the Mets fans at Citi Field don't forgive him. And it's really put up a shut up time now for Baez and pretty much the whole team, who's, Pilar and Lindor. Because any slip up that they have, don't go 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. You're gonna get booed.
Well, all they're doing is inciting the fans, because now it doesn't matter. Pete Alonso, it's not gonna matter.
Nah, Pete Alonso gets a pass.
No.
Yeah, he gets a pass.
No, they're all gonna get booed.
You know why he gets a pass?
He won the home run derby.
Yeah, nah, he's
you represent him
and Nimmo absolutely get a pass. In my book, they do, and I think most Met fans say the same thing.
I disagree with you. I think they're gonna boo every chance they get now, because now it's and us versus them type of thing.
Wow.
But look, Baez doesn't give a fuck. He's going to be a free agent. He can take his talents to South Beach or some shit. Whoever offers him a ton of money, and he can, he's going to move on with his life. Lindor, on the other hand, you just signed that big deal.
He better come out and say sorry or something.
Yeah,
seriously.
But and we got into this back and forth a couple of weeks ago, you and I, about Steve Cohen, right? And this is to me, this is part of the reason why Steve Cohen shouldn't do what he did. Because antagonizing your own people during, and publicly antagonizing your own people during the season, out in public, I guess that's what publicly antagonizing means. It's just a bad way to go. It's a bad look for the organization. It's a bad look for him. I understand he doesn't care. I understand he's trying to get something going, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. More often than not, this is the result, right? Things start to go from bad to worse, except for yesterday when they scored 9 runs. It's silly. It's dumb. It lacks professionalism, and I'll make the same point I made back then. I just don't see what it accomplishes, and I think more often than not, it's a negative as opposed to a positive, and we're seeing it now.
Yeah. Yeah, I see a lot of tweets out there about, would you want people or fans to come to your job? Look, if I was poorly performing at my job, I'd be lucky to get a verbal or a warning. I'd get fired, okay? These guys are successful 30% of the time, fail the other 70. Well, Baez is more like 20-80. And he ain't getting fired. As a matter of fact, he's probably going to end up getting paid this winter.
Yeah.
So I don't like when people say that because it's not the same thing. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's really not.
And the people that say that, it's kind of disingenuous, right? Because the fact of the matter is, you don't perform your job in front of a crowd of people, right?
That are paying my salary.
Regardless, right? You perform your job. I don't know exactly what you do day to day, right? But you perform your job around 5-10 people, right? And then you interact with a bunch of people via email, and that's about it. You don't do your job in front of 15, 20, 30, 40,000 people every day.
Yeah.
So don't tell me, people don't come to your job and boo. Look, if any job where you're doing it in front of 15, 20, 30, 40,000 people, and you do it poorly, you're going to get some knuckleheads that are going to boo you.
Especially when there's alcohol involved, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing.
It's going to happen.
No one is showing up at your place of work, boo, you misspelled that word in the email. So that argument is silly to me.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's part of the reason why I don't boo is because I personally just don't see the point. And I'm the kind of person that I love my team no matter what. Whether they're playing great or they're playing bad, I love them. And I don't want them, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I'm not happy about it. I'm probably going to watch a few less games here down the stretch now that they're, fading out, right? But I'm just not going to boo them. That's just me. But I don't have a problem with people that want to express themselves. That's okay too. And for him to be and look, if he'd have come out and said, I don't like the people booing us. It hurts my feelings. I wish people would cheer us and not boo us. Make us feel like you're with us and not against us. If he'd have come out and said all of that, which would have fallen under the category of criticism, I'd have been okay with it, right? Because he's expressing himself just like the fans are expressing themselves by booing. But when you take it to the next level of booing back with the thumbs down thing, that's just, now you're just being a child. What are we in a fucking sandbox here? It's just, it reminds me of that argument you used to have, when you get into school. You're a dummy. I know you are, but what am I? Right? Like, grow up. Just grow up.
I hope the players and the fans can just kind of move on, right? Fans booed, players booed. You're even. I think the more important task at hand is you're 7.5 games out of first place. I think the Braves are catchable, but the Mets got to perform. Because it doesn't matter if the Braves lose. If the Mets keep losing, then they're never going to catch them. So the Mets got to perform. So maybe this does something to the team. The most important month of baseball is left. Hopefully, there's only one way to win over the fans now for these guys. For those two for Baez specifically, there's only one way, and that's to perform and to win. So
I think I think Baez can go 0 for 4 every night. If the fans, if the Mets start winning, the Mets start scoring 9 runs a game, and Baez goes 0 for 4 every night, I think it'll all be water under the bridge. If the Mets start to shrink that 7.5 game deficit down to 4, down to 3, down to 2, people forget all about the booing, regardless of how he's hitting.
And look, as a Mets fan, anything is possible because we gave up a 7-game lead with 17 to play in 2007. So 7.5 games with about 28, 30 games left.
35.
It's fucking doable. So
what are we at? 110?
It's doable.
We're at 130, so 32 games left.
Yeah, it could be done.
Oh yeah, no, it's very much doable. I personally don't think we're gonna get there. We're just not that good of a team.
It's all about catching the Braves. Catch the Braves.
Well, we got to catch the Phillies first.
Yeah, but the Phillies they're not that good, bro.
You gotta catch one before you can catch the other.
The Phillies not that good.
No, the Phillies are not that good. But and the Braves, to their credit, are playing good ball.
Yeah, I wonder if they peaked. This, they might have peaked. Maybe they hit the highest point in the season. Well, because let's not forget, you still have your best hitter out.
They won, 10 in a row? 9 in a row?
10? 9?
Recently, right before the Yankee series.
Right.
It's possible that,
they could have.
They could start to slide back a little bit, but it's still... I mean, if you just break it down in 32 games, if they just go 16-16, right, that's 86 wins. The Mets have to go 20. The Mets have to win 23 of 32, which is possible because they just lost 23 of 32. I think. So,
and look, anything's possible in sports. We see it time after time. So this 7.5 game lead that the Braves have I don't think it's nothing set in stone. Yeah, obviously right now it looks like the fucking Mets are tail spinning. The Braves are far ahead of both teams, but anything can happen, man. I think that's the beauty of sports, and that's why they play the games and don't end it right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's why the schedule's 162 games, not 130. I'll tell you who's on a nice run is the Yankees. And the Yankees are doing it everywhere. I mean, they're getting good pitching, they're getting good hitting, and not great hitting, but just timely hitting.
Yeah.
They're doing the exact opposite of the Mets, right? They're hitting with men on base. They're hitting late in games. They just won, 12 straight, 13 straight?
Something like that.
And then lost 2 in a row. But it's hard to catch the Rays because the Rays are playing great baseball as well. They're on a 7-game winning streak themselves and, still holding on to a 6-game lead over the Yankees. But for the Yankees, it'll be about getting into that wild card situation, which, if I'm not mistaken, they are...
I think they should have a comfortable lead in that wild card.
They are in the wild card, right? Yeah, they're a few games ahead of the A's for that first wild card. So, yeah, they're doing well, right? They're doing well. The trade they're 2 games up on Boston, 2.5 up on, and Boston's 2.5 up on the A's. So they've really got a 4.5 game cushion. Cushion sounds like the wrong word here, but you know what I mean. Look, the trade deadline did wonders for them. I mean, it's incredible. Their bullpen is still an issue. Chapman is an issue, but
that guy can't throw strikes. Still,
and when he throws them, they hit him.
Yeah,
far, very, very far. That's not good. They're struggling a little bit there, but if you can score enough runs,
Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, There's a lot of baseball left, but I don't see the A's catching the Red Sox. The Red Sox definitely hit a tipping point, right? Their peak.
Yeah, they're struggling.
They're starting to come around a little bit, though.
Yeah, well, they better hurry up. And the Orioles are not that far out. They're only 41.5 out in the division. You know, if they can string a few wins together, you know, they're 33.5 out in the wild card with 33 to play. They're still not eliminated. I think one more loss. But, I mean, look, if they rip off 33 in a row, they could have anything is possible.
Anything, yeah. Safe to say they'll be in the basement. 40 wins.
Yeah.
Damn. That's rough.
Well, yeah, they're on pace to win 50 games.
Negative, 231 run differential?
Yeah. Well, when you're 59 games under 500, that's not that much.
Holy shit.
That's only 4 runs a game.
And still, that's a lot.
Jesus, it's got to be hard to be a baseball fan in Baltimore. Because it's not like they're bad this season. They've been bad for several seasons.
Yeah.
Right? This is not a one-time thing.
Like, how do you get pumped to go to an Orioles game in Camden Yards? Which happens to be, from what I hear, one of the most beautiful
it
stadiums.
depends. If it's a day game during the week, then you get pumped by saying, I'm getting out of work.
Yeah.
I'm going to go boo someone before they come boo me.
Right.
And Baltimore, provides that.
Yeah.
Now, how come, is anyone booing at Orioles games, do you think? Or at this point, do you think they're like...
No, because can you name a player on the Orioles?
Yeah, the guy from the home run derby that...
Chris Davis?
No, that guy...
he retired,
He retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was probably the object of a lot of boos. No, but the... who's the guy
Cedric
from...
Mullins? Was he in the...
Who's the guy from the home
That
run
kid is
derby?
pretty good. I don't know. I don't know who it was. See, that's what I'm saying. Nobody knows.
Yeah, but
Nobody
you can
knows
boo
any,
anyway.
Nobody knows any of the players. The
can
fans
boo,
don't even know who they're booing.
But you can boo somebody.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody of significance is on the Orioles.
These looking at these standings, these races look kind of blah.
Yeah, I mean the Central is all wrapped up.
Anything is possible, but yeah, I think it's all wrapped up.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the White Sox up 10 games. On
The
Indians.
fucking Tigers have a better record than. Oh no, they don't. Okay, never mind.
Better record than who?
The Mets.
Almost.
I think they did before yesterday.
Well, before we won the last 2. Yeah, because we won 2 and the Tigers have lost 3.
Yeah.
So
okay,
that explains it.
Yeah, the White Sox, safe to say they're going to win that division.
Yeah, and you got the Astros who are still playing good ball, going to win the West. They're up 5.5 on the A's, and then Yankees, Red Sox, and A's really fighting it out for the wild card. But to be fair, the Yankees maybe, but the A's, I mean, the Red Sox, neither one of those teams provides me any entertainment to go up against the Rays or the White Sox or the Astros. Like
Boston can beat the Yankees. I mean, they beat them for most of this. I think they pretty much
swept them early in the year, but they got swept back here recently.
Yeah. And plus, those two teams,
they
they
got
play
a
each
rivalry
other.
situation there.
They play each other tough all the time.
But yeah, the
well, that
American
would be a
League
one.
is
That would be a one-game series.
one gamer, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then you would have the A's playing the A's. Well, no, the A's would not make it, right?
No, the A's would not.
So you have the 2 wild card teams play each other, and then
The winner of that would play the White Sox.
the Rays.
Rays, right? Because the Rays.
Yeah, I mean anything can happen between the Yankees and the Red Sox, but then to have to face the Rays is not easy. I'll tell you what, the White Sox and Astros would be a hell of a series.
Yeah, that could be a good series.
That'd be a
Ooh,
lot of
AJ.
fun.
Oh no, he went to the Tigers. I was gonna say AJ Hinch managing, but he manages the Tigers.
It's Tony La Russa
Yeah.
Dusty Baker. The winner,
Wow.
The winner of that series will be the manager that
The
lives.
most analytical fucking managers we have.
I mean, seriously, that will be The winner of that series will be whoever manager does not die.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys. How old are those guys?
Old, man. They're probably combined 170 years old.
Tony La Russa is only 76.
What'd I say, 170?
Easily 150, right?
Yeah.
And Dusty Baker's got to be...
He's 76.
He's about to turn 77, and Dusty Baker just turned 72.
So almost 150. 149.
It'll be 149 by the time they face off in the playoffs.
Damn. That's a lot of years.
Good for them. The National League... The National League is a little more interesting, only because, I don't completely trust the Braves. Sounds like you don't either.
No.
Right? Although, at this point, I don't really trust the Phillies and the Mets either, so it's kind of tough.
Right.
Milwaukee's got a good-sized lead on Cincinnati, 8.5 games. The Giants and the Dodgers are getting closer. It's now down to 2.5. And then the Padres third at 15.5 out.
It's been pretty close.
Well, it's been steady at about 4, 5, 6 games. And here recently, the Dodgers have clamped it down a little bit. And then for the wild card, the Dodgers are 11.5 up on the Reds, who are 1.5 up on the Padres.
The Reds fucking snuck in there on everybody, huh?
Well, before the season started, I think didn't you say before the season started you expected the Reds to provide a challenge at least?
I don't remember. I'll have to go.
I have to go back and look. I think you did. I think you did.
I'll take the credit. Yeah, sure, I did.
Sure did. The interesting team to me is the Padres, because I think the Padres are better than the Reds, but that team seems to be falling apart.
Here's the thing about the Padres. And it's not even about the Padres. It's about the national media. They did the same thing about the Padres that football did with the Cleveland Browns. Like, they hyped that team up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then what happened this past series versus the Dodgers? The Dodgers fucking pretty much spanked them.
Yeah.
Right? Might have even swept them. So, I don't think the Padres are that good. I just don't think they're that good. And I blame the national media, sports media, because they were the flashy team. They were, they got Fernando Tatis on the squad, and I think everybody hyped them up too much. I think.
Yeah,
look,
I agree with you. I agree with you that the national media hyped him up, but part of that is they have the most recognizable player in baseball, right? In Tatis, and I think that becomes a talking point.
Why doesn't nobody hype up the Angels? They have the best player on the planet the last 8 years.
Yeah, but he's not. But
and he plays on the West Coast, same thing.
Yeah, but no, hold on. If Fernando Tatis and Mike Trout walk through a mall in Iowa, who do you think gets more recognized?
That's not fair because Tatis is Hispanic and fucking Mike Trout blends in Iowa. That's not fair at all. It's not fair.
Okay. Fernando Tatis and Mike Trout walk through Spanish Harlem. No, I see what you're saying.
No,
and I see what you're saying. I think the media did hype him up some, but that's still a good baseball team. They lost Tatis for a long time, which I think hurt them, and B, they've had other injuries that have caused them to underperform. And the other thing is, the national media hyped them up under the impression that the Giants were going to be as bad as the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. The Giants have way overperformed. The Giants have surprised the hell out of everybody. No one expected them to be above 500, let alone leading the West.
Yeah.
And that has cost the Padres some wins, right? Wins that they thought they were going to have that they didn't have. And you look at them now, they're 69 and 62. They're on pace to win 85 games. I think we expected more from them. I think, did they not win more than that last year?
Not last year.
Well,
impossible.
Maybe not last year, but
the year before, they probably won more than what they have now. Probably won 70 games?
Yeah, hold on.
75 games. Might have been close to. Oh no, they were 70 games.
But that was in 19.
Oh.
So let's see.
COVID season.
Let's see what the COVID season looks like.
Probably won like 23.
Oh, crap. Hold on, I really screwed this up. I don't know how to work the interwebs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think the team is that great. Oh, they made the playoffs.
Yeah, they made the playoffs last year, and they played 6-17 baseball. Granted, it's a small sample size, right? But if you take that and you extrapolate it out to a full season, that's 100 wins. Now, obviously, it's a small sample size, so maybe you can't say they were a 100-win team, right? Or of a caliber of a 100-win team. But maybe 95, maybe 92, 93. I think we expected the same thing this year.
But look at the teams they were playing last year. They played a bunch of Giants, Rockies, Diamondbacks, and they played a poor AL West, aside from the fucking Athletics.
Right, but again, and that's so that you're kind of agreeing with me. The Giants overperforming has made them kind of underperform a little bit, or has taken some wins away that have them on pace for 85 when we thought they were a 92, 93 win team.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the problem with the Padres. They've got to deal with the pitching. The pitching has been an issue, but I think it's a lot of injuries, and quite frankly, it's I just don't think they're the way it goes sometimes.
I just don't think they're any good. And earlier this season, I tweeted out when they played the Dodgers, there is no rivalry. The Dodgers are the better team, and I think that's been proven this season. I don't think there's a rivalry there. I think the fans want to make it one, and that's cool. But I don't think there's one, and and there's a reason they're in third place right now. I mean,
yeah, and I don't know that they're gonna make it. They've got to turn things around here in a month, and they're not way out. They're only a game and a half, 2 games behind the Reds, right? Is that what we said? Yeah, they're only a game and a half out from the Reds, so they could they could get in there. The only problem is that then they have to play the Dodgers, who are going to beat the shit out of them, and then we can go on to the playoffs. Yeah. The playoffs would be interesting because I'm really curious to see how Milwaukee and the Giants do in crunch time.
Yeah. The thing is, both teams seem to have, above average offense, defense, offense, pitching, bullpen. That's kind of, nobody expected that from those two teams. And I mean, if you're clicking on all 3 of those departments, you can go pretty far in the playoffs.
Yeah. I'll be very, very interested, and I'll be more curious with the Giants than with the Brewers, because I feel like the Giants have played a playoff type style all year long, and I just wonder, they're good. I just wonder if that's sustainable for an entire season, or what happens when everyone else goes into playoff mode, and you've been doing it all year. Yeah. Does the familiarity of it make you knock those teams off, or does them stepping it up kind of put the pressure on you, and now you kind of fold? I'm curious as to what will happen with the Giants. I hate to say that because it sounds like I'm not a believer in them and what they've done, and I guess maybe I'm not, but it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out.
The series against the Mets, which I don't even know why I stayed up late for those games, they have pitching, and they have pitchers that pitch pretty well.
Yeah.
Aside from Gausman and Cueto, and nobody's seen them before. So I don't know, man. I think if I had to pick one of the two, I would say the Giants go a little further than the Brewers. But I mean, who knows?
Interesting to see.
Yeah.
Interesting to see. The other thing that's interesting to see, you and I last night.
Yeah.
I almost cringe to admit this. We went out to watch the Jake Paul Tyron Woodley fight.
So hold on. After all these years of you calling me a degenerate for betting on preseason football, virtual gaming, playing fantasy football.
You bet on virtual gaming?
During COVID season? Fuck yeah. I did it once. It was the Lakers and the Clippers, and I won.
Oh my god!
But I didn't bet anymore after that. I promise.
Maybe.
Nah, it was too good to be true.
So anyway,
yeah. So as I was saying, all these years of you calling me a degenerate, I think you are now in the same category because you invited me to go out and watch these exhibition boxing fight.
I am a degenerate when it comes to fighting. Yes, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean it's because there's really no reason to go out and watch that. But
on a Sunday night,
no less.
Which, by the way,
had to go to bed early so go to school the next day.
Which, by the way, which kind of ties into Dad calling me. My cable box went out, and so I was just gonna sit home and do nothing, probably jerk off all night. And you came in clutch with the invite, man.
Well, I'm glad I could save you from your own calloused hands. Yeah, look, it's entertainment, right? At the end of the day, it's entertainment, right? Because what we saw last night,
it was fun.
It was fun, right? Like the first fight was a freak show. Right, because you had Tommy Fury, who they say he weighed in at 179. There's no fucking way. That guy was every bit of 200 by the time he got in the ring.
Yeah.
And the other guy weighed in at 175, and he might have been 175.
Yeah.
So that freak show thing we watched, and then the next two fights were decent, right? Not bad.
Yeah.
And then the fight that I really wanted to watch was the Amanda Serrano fight. That chick is for real.
Yeah,
I was impressed. I've seen one other fight of hers. I was impressed back then, and she is good. You were not as impressed, but you don't know boxing.
True.
And then of course you get to the main event, which is Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley.
Let's break down this fight.
My problem with it. Just from and we didn't we're at a bar, so we didn't get to hear the broadcast real well, but you could see the graphics and
lots of breasts and thighs at the bar.
Exactly. It appeared, right, and maybe this is the cynical side of me. So Jake Paul brokered a deal with Showtime to put on this fight. And you know how it goes, right? When a guy's making money, everybody's making money, right? Everybody's making. Jake Paul's not the only one that makes money. Tyron Woodley makes money. Jimmy Lennon gets another gig. He makes money. That's the announcer. Showtime makes money. All the pay-per-view guys. Everybody makes money. So there's a small part of me that thinks, well, no one's going to want to derail this train, right? Because this is, it is basically a Brinks truck, right? Everybody's making money. And by watching the broadcast, and again, we didn't listen to it all, so I'm not saying it was like this completely, but from watching graphics and whatnot, it seemed like a very pro Jake Paul broadcast, right?
Yes, I would agree.
Their guy that
especially from the Barstool guys.
Yeah, it's just it was that part was kind of poor, I thought, which again takes it out of sport and into entertainment for me.
And the judges seem to be very pro Jake Paul, according to the cards.
Well, but not as pro Jake Paul as the unofficial score for Showtime.
Well,
The unofficial score for Showtime basically had Jake Paul winning every round but one. Right. Which I thought was disingenuous. Right.
Yes.
The actual judges were closer. They had it.
77, 75, I think one of them.
Yeah, but two of them had it 77, 75, which would be, if you're doing the math, would be 5-3, right? And
seems about right.
Yeah, 5-3, I can see that. And one of them had it 6-2. I can even see that. But 7-1, yikes.
I think that was a successful fight because, again, like you mentioned, it's entertainment. And I was highly entertained.
Yeah, no, and Look, if you watch a Jake Paul event to see high quality boxing, if that's your thing, you're going to be disappointed.
Although,
but if you go to watch and just have fun and be entertained, it's entertaining.
Although I gotta admit, he looks the part up there. Now, he's got 4 fights already, so I mean, I'm pretty sure he if you go back and look at his first fight and his 4th fight, you probably see a difference. He didn't look terrible. I mean, he's a pretty big guy. I didn't realize how big he was, or either Woodley was.
First of all, he's fighting a smaller person.
Yeah.
Right? He's naturally 190. Mm. Right? So he probably cuts down to 190. By the time he gets into the ring, probably 200. Tyron Woodley fought his entire career at 170. So he's just a smaller man.
Right.
I mean, not a huge discrepancy, but he's a smaller man. That's all there is to it. And you could tell that he was, I'm not going to say afraid, but he was much more concerned than he's ever been before. Because after that 4th round, he was gassed. And that's
Jake Paul.
Yeah.
He was gassed. Yeah.
And that's the sign of a guy who is struggling to handle the pressure of his competition. Not the pressure of the event.
Right.
Because he's been in front of a camera all his life. That whole, all the fanfare and stuff, that doesn't bother him. He's at home in that.
Right.
But you could tell that the pressure of this guy who can fight was a bit much for him. And I wonder, I don't know who they're going to put him with next, but they're going to have to be very careful. Because one of the things about Tyron Woodley, and this has been the case his entire career, he is not a volume guy. Mm-hmm. And yet, he went forward and put pressure on him and rattled his cage. If he fights someone else who is a more of a volume guy, he's going to be in real trouble. There are guys out there that use pace as a weapon, just like a left hook or a right cross. And those guys will absolutely mop up the floor with Jake Paul. The Jake Paul we saw last night. Now, maybe 6 months from now, maybe he's better and he can handle it. But the Jake Paul we saw last night could not handle a volume puncher, pressure guy.
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm a high volume puncher.
You know, we were talking about that last night. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. How much would it take for you to get in the ring? I mean, granted, you bring no fan base to a Jake Paul fight, but...
My kids, I'll bring my kids. They can watch me die.
That's true. That's true. Your kids did not watch the fight last night, so that's pay-per-view plus 2. 2. Right? Unless they're both...
Mom and Dad.
Unless they're in front of one TV. No, because their box was busted.
Oh, damn.
So no, they're not going to watch. So
I think that's what we should do. Why don't we start training on YouTube and fucking call this guy out? You want to fight him or you want me to fight him?
I want you to fight him.
All right, let's do it. Let's start.
I'm not up for the brain damage.
I'll do it.
Okay.
For the bag, I'll do it for both of us.
Well, plus you're closer to 190 than I am, probably.
That's cool. I'm actually not.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh about between 165 and 170.
That's it?
Yeah.
Well, you've been losing weight, haven't you?
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to bulk up. It's winter's coming.
All right, we'll start training you, and you start calling them out on YouTube, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, fuck it. What can go wrong?
I mean, look, the guy's only got 4 fights. It's not like he's got 30. Yeah. Right? He's not that.
How tall is he? Because he looks pretty fucking tall.
Yeah, I think he's like 6 something.
Oh shit.
6'1".
Damn. All right, I'm gonna have to grow. What is it? Trash cans on the knees?
Yeah, you could grow. That's one way.
It worked for Michael Jordan.
Did it?
When he was in high school.
I'm curious now as to how old.
Seriously.
I know he's young.
Look at these fucking guns, man. I can take down Jake Paul. I can take him down, bro. Plus he's a southpaw.
He's 24, 6'1".
I mean he's a cruiserweight. I'm like a fucking featherweight, bro.
No, you're more than a featherweight.
We can do it. I say let's call him out. Let's start training. Put the fucking Rocky music in the background. and just fucking and get fucking slabs of meat.
Can you even do the whole speed back thing?
If we speed up the video, like time, like by 30 or some shit, I'll be faster than Floyd.
I can see how we're gonna get this fight. Video creativity.
That's right. We're gonna need some editing skills.
Entertaining fight. He is. Look, he's at this point. He's entertainment.
Yeah.
He's 4-0.
I can be entertained too. For $1 million, I can entertain.
Or you would last 2 minutes in there.
There were 2 minute. Those were 3 minute rounds, right?
Rounds, yeah.
8 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work that out. The length of the fight is we're gonna have to work that out.
Maybe you.
I'm willing to take a little less if we're willing to box a little less.
Maybe you could. Fight Amanda Serrano. 10 2-minute rounds.
No, because I'd rather get knocked out by a guy than knocked out by a female.
But she's much lighter.
Yeah, you seen it?
Like when are they gonna start doing those freak fights?
Male versus female?
Yeah. And I
nominate Nate Robinson.
Like get a regular guy with just give him 3 months to train.
Yeah.
I think people would pay for this shit.
I think so too, but what happens if the guy just fucking lays one on her and knocks her out cold?
Well, that's the entertainment.
For you and me.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. So Jake, I don't know who he's going to fight next. My guess is he's going to. Again, you can't get him a legit. Like you can't get him a legit 5-0, 190-pound, 25-year-old boxer. You can't get him that guy because that guy's going to beat him.
Yeah.
You got to get him someone who's older. Tyron Woodley is 39. Someone who is smaller. Tyron Woodley's 170. Someone who's not a natural boxer. Tyron Woodley's an MMA guy.
Right.
So those are 3 factors that are all in his favor, right? So maybe next time you get him someone who's an actual boxer who's 39 and fights at 154, right? Or you get him someone who, is an MMA guy who's 25 and never boxed. Like you got to start taking those away and build him up to a record of 8-0, 10-0 before you can really put him in the ring with a boxer, a 25-year-old or 26-year-old boxer who's 9-1 and has an extensive amateur career. Because what we saw last night, Jake Paul, while he has some skills, there were times where he was just swinging punches like 2 chicks fighting in the Walmart parking lot, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure they'll do that, right? They got to build him up. He's the fucking bag, right? He's the cash cow.
And of course you do it.
Yeah.
Right? Because at each one of those steps, everyone's making some money, right? Yeah. Showtime's making some money.
See, that's why we have to fight him now, bro.
Well, let's see. Which one of those factors do you take away? You have no boxing experience. You were 39, and you're smaller. So you're basically Tyron Woodley without the MMA experience.
Yeah, but I can.
Yeah,
I can throw a punch, bro. I can boom.
Yeah, just the way you do that tells me you're gonna break your wrist before you hit him.
I'm telling you, man. I think we can do it. We got to get in now before he gets any better.
That's for damn sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get him now.
What about 2-on-1? You and me versus him? He can't fucking handle that.
Now, see, why don't they do that?
Yeah, a little handicap match.
In Russia they have handicap matches like MMA.
Like,
yeah.
Whoa.
Russia's got some crazy ass shit.
Yeah, they got some huskies out there.
Those people are fucking nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck that.
But yeah, they do 2-on-1, 3-on-1. And you would think, right, if they're doing 2-on-1, 3-on-1, you would think the 1 is like a heavyweight and the 2 and the 3 are like flyweights. No, they're all the same size.
Yeah.
So guess what happens?
What?
The 1 gets his ass beat.
Yeah? Well, if they're all the fucking same size.
See now, and that's how you know I'm a degenerate, because I've seen those videos.
That's right. Don't call me a degenerate anymore.
You're a different kind of degenerate.
After going out for an exhibition fight, we actually had beer and food, and who does that?
I'm not a degenerate.
On a Sunday.
I like to be entertained.
Okay, well, I like to be entertained too. I bet on virtual sports.
Bet.
Yeah.
You risk your hard-earned money. That makes you a degenerate. I don't
Did you not spend money last night on beer and food?
But I didn't risk it.
All right,
I got
then.
something for it.
What'd you get back
beer
for
and
it?
food.
Oh, I got something back. I got money back from virtual betting.
You got money back for your money.
That's right. I flipped my money.
Oh my god!
See
Hey,
how quick these hands are?
are you doing fantasy football this year?
Nah, no fantasy football.
No, look at you. You're all grown up now.
Yeah.
No more fantasy football.
Nah, I'm not a degenerate no more. Nah, I can't keep up, man. It's devotion. I'm not getting into a fucking free league for one. If I'm playing, I'm playing for money.
If I gamble on virtual esports,
Yeah.
you sure as fuck better believe I'm not doing fantasy football for free.
Hell no. I put the house up, man. Fuck. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, look, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, you know. Nah, I can't keep up, man. I can't keep up. Plus, the season's longer now, so now it's 18 weeks or 17 weeks, so I can't do it. Can't do it, bro. I know you're all into it because you've been fucking sending me all these your fantasy sleepers. If you guys want quarterback, wide receiver, running back fantasy sleepers for this season, hit up Ed on Twitter at emontana21.
I won't give you sleepers, but I will give you who to stay away from. Because I watch way too much ESPN, and the amount of conversation around some guys, I'm like, y'all are fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not going to divulge it here. If you want the toxicity list, right? That's another one of my philosophies.
Philosopher at work.
If you want a toxic player list for your fantasy team for 2021, hit me up on Twitter at emontana21. I'll give you a list from, I think I can do just about every position. I can certainly do quarterbacks and running backs, and I think I can do receivers.
You don't do defense.
I don't know. Well, that I don't do, period.
Because fantasy doesn't do individual defense players.
No, well, they do teams.
I know how much of See, he does fantasy football. He acts like he does it.
Don't be stupid. Of course they don't. I don't go balls deep in the whole, tight ends and shit like kickers. I don't do that. But quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers. All right. If you want to know who not to draft, if you want to know when to start laughing when your buddy drafts X guy, hit me up on Twitter at emontana21. I will let you know. I've got 2 quarterbacks for sure that I think are way overrated, and I've got at least 3 running backs. I think I have a 4th.
Okay. I mean, I may have to hit you up.
No, you're not playing.
Well,
Fuck you.
Well, I'll go on one of my burner accounts.
Hey, man.
Real quick, fantasy football, and actually, I kind of comment down below because I'm just interested in knowing what how you guys go about it. But your fantasy draft, how far ahead of kickoff week do you hold fantasy draft? Because I've seen some people did it last month.
Yeah.
Like, that's way too soon.
Yeah, the guy in that league that drafted Dobbins.
Yeah, like, really, like, how far? You can't go that far.
I've seen fantasy leagues do it the week of. So the first game's on Thursday. They do it on Monday. You gotta have your lineup in on Wednesday.
I like that. Maybe a week before.
Yeah. So, but I think the most popular time is like right now. Like,
yeah.
We're what, a week
days.
and a half? 10 days?
10
right?
days, yeah.
So next Monday would be the final Monday before the season starts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I think a lot of people are doing it this week.
Yeah, because I've seen some, like, I've seen drafts go, like I said, July.
Yeah, but I mean, does it really matter? I mean, injuries are such a big part. Yeah, but in football, more so than in any other sport, injuries are such a big part of the deal.
Right,
that it's kind of like, if you do it a month in advance and you get some injuries, it's no different than doing it the week before and getting an injury in week 2, right? It's still a long season. You're still going to have to make moves. No one drafts their team and like stays put and wins it all.
Right,
Although
yeah.
one time I did.
And you won it all?
Yeah.
Lucky.
To be fair, I had a partner.
Is that when you called me for advice?
No.
That's when he called me for
advice. To be
advice.
fair, I had a partner and he did like 95% of the work.
Slacker.
Yeah. Well, it was a group effort.
Yeah.
I was just a smaller part of the group.
Teamwork makes the whatever.
Dreamwork.
Yeah,
That's
something
right.
like that.
That's right. You got anything else?
Nah, that's it, man. Go bet on virtual sports, fellas, ladies,
The virtual
kids.
sports. Kids. Hey there, little boys and girls. We have something for you to do.
That's
Go
right.
bet on virtual sports. Please don't.
Nah,
Please
man.
don't. All right. As always, folks, you can catch our podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Spotify,
All that good shit.
all that good stuff. If you want to get a hold of us here at the show, you can email the show, positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of Alex, how do they do that?
On Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho 1. Follow the Gaucho, baby.
Follow the Gaucho. It's entertaining. And if they want to get a hold of me, how do they do that?
For virtual sports betting at eMontana21. Hit him up for his exclusive how do you say it? Yeah.
Toxic player list.
Toxic player list. I'm gonna hit you up, bro. You're not gonna know it's me.
I don't care. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. I will let you know. Not a problem. You just go ahead and hit me up, and I will tell you. Just don't tell them because they might get mad.
Nah, I'm not gonna tell them. They gotta find out for themselves. So make sure you hit them up.
Imagine some. No. I'm talking about the players.
Oh.
All of a sudden, I'm getting, all of a sudden Cam Newton is sliding into my DMs.
Oh,
Not that
man.
Cam Newton's on the list.
Oh, you gave it a hint.
Well, is anyone going to draft Cam Newton all that high?
No, not that high. But somebody high enough will draft him.
I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be anyone's number one.
No, I don't think
So that's not a toxic.
I mean, do you think there's 12 better quarterbacks than him out there?
Oh yeah.
Maybe not, bro.
Oh yeah. Well, again, so to me, that's not a toxic pick, right?
He may not even be the starter on his team.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think. So he's not toxic because he's not going to be anyone's number one quarterback. No one's going to draft him in the first round. The guys I'm talking about are guys that are going to go in the first round.
Oh.
I got a guy who is projected to be a top 5 pick who I think is going to be a total and complete bust this year.
Wow. Okay, I'm really interested now. So hit him up at eMontana21 for the fantasy toxic player list.
Hey, before we go, one shout out, which we don't do shout outs very often anymore because we're old. We just like to talk nice about people.
I'm not old.
Shout out to Juan, the chosen one, Adams. Actually, that's incorrect. Juan, the Kracken Adams. His Twitter handle is chosen1 285. Juan, the Kracken Adams won the Fury FC heavyweight championship last night. First round, I believe. First round or second round? TKO. Y'all know, if you do not know who Juan Adams is, check him out on episode 20 of our podcast. It's back a bit. It's right before he went into the UFC. He had a stint in the UFC, bowed out for a little bit, and now is making his way back by picking up the Fury FC heavyweight championship belt. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And for a guy that big, that strong, and that violent, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
I mean, just nice and smart. You think of these fighters and you think they're all meatheads. Very, very intelligent guy. Team Petty. And just a cool dude all the way around. So shout out to Juan, the Kraken Adams, on winning the Fury FC heavyweight championship belt.
And his fight road actually is, the definition of positive sports, right? Made it to UFC, lost a couple times. He's slowly working his way back up, and just not giving up on what he wants to do in his dreams. So I think that's great.
He's got a college degree, and he's often asked why he fights instead of working in his college in his field, right? And his comment is always the same. He goes, because I don't want to live my life bored to death. This is what I love to do.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, he started off on the regional scene, worked his way into the Contender Series, right, at the UFC, got a contract there, fought in the UFC, struggled some, went to these smaller promotions, struggled some even in the smaller promotions. But, moved out to Albuquerque to one of the best MMA gyms in the country and has been working his ass off, and he's working his way back. And, I don't know, but if I had to guess, I would say we're going to see him in the UFC again. And the guy's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem. He's just too fucking big, too fucking strong.
Yeah.
The heavyweight limit's 265. He weighs in at 265. Right up to the limit. Anything else, my friend?
That's it, man. Wrap this puppy up.
Thank you very much for joining us on another wonderful episode of the Positive Sports Podcast. As always, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.